Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 14 Talk Show. You got JJ, you got the commish. Jack, what an incredible first week of playoffs. We saw a lot go down, some upsets, some expected results. We're going to break it all down for you guys. We're going to check out the bracket, and we're going to see who's going into the semifinals and who is destined to get the Chi-Fi Fantasy Football 12th place trophy. Punishment to be determined. So there's a lot on the line here, Jack. We gotta talk about this.
Biggest time of the season. Not to spoil too much, but coming at you live from two semifinalists. Congratulations, Hudson. We earned this, dude. But yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back on the pod. Coming at you guys with another banger. Let's get right into it. Start us off with a little round one recap. Two semifinal matchups this week. We had me taking on Murray after a little skid of a couple of bad weeks in a row, and you taking on Schubert, confidence a mile high. Hudson, break it down for us. Tell me about the win. How are we feeling?
Jack, there's only one thing to say, and it's I will not be denied. I refuse to be denied this season. I am excited to move on to the semifinals and face Nick Mueller after a bye week for him. It started off tough. Shuby telling me he was running a 2 tight end set on me. Really threw me for a loop. That was fun to hear about. But he had his defense. Raiders put up a clean 25 fantasy points on Thursday night against the Chargers. And I'm going into this past week with Isaiah Pacheco and Nico Collins, both injured. It didn't look good. I had a low chance for a victory. I was pretty worried about a first round upset, to be honest, but we saw my guys do what they needed to do. Sam Laporta, a beautiful 3 touchdown performance Saturday night. Exactly what I needed to secure this win. So a nice little 12-point victory for me. Moving on, as I said, to Nick Mueller, the 2 and the 3 seed, battling it out. It's been in the works all season, so it's a nice pull out this win.
It was an uphill battle for you, surely. That Raiders D, 25 points Thursday night. Shuby off the rip there was projected about 142, I think, which is quite the number to overcome. The 2 tight end scheme worked. Trey McBride was a heck of a play at flex, but your boys did what they needed to do. Sam Laporta, a hero, American hero. He bailed me out in my other league and got me to another playoff win over there. What a kid. This kid's special. But Hudson, congratulations, dude. You did it. On to the semis to face the juggernauts, you and I. Good win, man.
Thank you, sir. I think it's gonna be matchup of the week. Me and Mueller. I think it's gonna be close. I'm gonna get my guys back this week, and we're gonna see what happens. But Jack, another semifinalist here, buddy. You really brought it on strong this week, or should I say that Murray maybe brought it on a little cold?
Yeah, I will say it was never really in doubt for me. We started off Saturday, 1 p.m. game. My Minnesota Vikings lost a heartbreaker. But the positive note to take away is that Jordan Addison had 29 fantasy points. An absolute monster game from the kid. 2 TDs, 111 yards on 6 grabs. Our new QB certainly wanted to find him. Just as I personally expected, Justin Jefferson was double teamed pretty much the whole game. It's great to have him back. I forgot how special he was. He catches everything thrown his way. Oh my God, I love him. But it did open up Addison a little bit more across the field. Had a huge game. Amon-Ra bounce back game, 24 points. And Ken Walker, after an oblique injury, he had like 2 points last week. I was honestly very nervous putting him back in my starting lineup, but he went off last night against the Eagles. Tough loss for them. But my boy Ken with the 20-burger. T. Higgins on my bench this week had 2 touchdowns, which was crazy.
On the bench, of course.
Yeah, which does hurt, but Jamar Chase has been not ruled out yet, but is very unlikely to play this week. So we will see T. Higgins back in my starting lineup in the flex this week. It will be an uphill battle. David versus Goliath, me going against Tyler and Christian McCaffrey. The projections are not in my favor, but this team has heart. 122 points with Bijan Robinson putting up a goose egg. He had 0.4 points, my RB1, my number one pick this year. Sold the bag, but we still won by 40 because Murray's team was rather awful. We did it,
I
man.
mean,
We're moving on.
we did it. This league is scripted, and I'm not going to deny it any longer. Jack and I, we're meeting in the finals.
I
Heard it
hope
here first.
I hope that's the case. I hope to see you there, man.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I'll meet
tough.
you on the other side.
It's gonna be real tough. But
Yeah,
good news for you. Pacheco will indeed be back this week. That's a nice little boost to your lineup. I don't know about Nico. I don't know his status, but Pacheco will indeed be back and ready to roll for the conference championships. All right, moving on. Let's check in with the losers. Couple of lopsided ones here. Jesus Christ, Ollie. Wow, I didn't even notice this. Doubled Nabil's score. That's a tough one.
oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, Nabil fans are down heavy right now. I mean, that's a tough look. Jared Goff, I think, thrown 5 passing touchdowns, if I'm correct. I'd
Yeah,
also like to send out a formal apology for taking Broncos +5. Jack, we had a bad betting week. We
yeah,
had
we didn't do so good.
man, you took the Eagles, I took the Broncos. It Celtics money line hit, so I'll take that.
Did. That's one win. But football didn't go so hot, did it?
I think we have better lineups this week. But anyway, a disappointing week for Nabil and Bridge. I do have some insider information.
Please
Breaking
no.
news: manager Brendan Bridge out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. I'm not joking. Brendan tore his ACL in a pickup basketball game last week.
He actually
I'm
tore
not.
his ACL.
I'm dead serious. He might need to get surgery.
Holy what?
So he's not. He's not playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to. Fuck.
Pretty sure that's why his team did so bad. Yeah, he's gonna visit me in Boston, and he texted me, "Hey man, played a basketball game with my friends, screwed up my knee. Think I tore my ACL." So that's a tough loss for the league. Honestly, I'm pretty sad about that one. Prayers out to that kid.
Yeah, that's brutal. Oh god.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah. Prayers up to our very own cheeky brother Bridge. Hopefully he'll have some time in the off season to rehab and he'll be ready to go for start of next year.
you hate to see. I'm still making him wear the speedo if he loses. As
Yeah,
there's
no,
no excuse.
that's just how it is. Yes, and in the toilet bowl, Scott versus Perone, both teams performed really well. I'm sure you heard in the group chat Scott talking shit for scoring more points than both of us who won our semifinal matchups. But hey, so did Perone. He outscored both of us, thanks to James Cook, who's looking like a league winner. The only problem is he sits on a team that is 2-12.
Todd Chandler too. I mean, big game out of him if
Kids, kids,
Madison
yeah.
stays out.
Yeah. I would not be surprised, and I almost hope it's the case. Nothing against Madison, but I think this kid is legit. Watching that game, his yards per carry is insane. He's a great receiver. He had the second highest pass block rate on the team, including the offensive lineman.
Wow,
As a, I don't know,
wow.
he's like 22, 23 maybe. I would, I would definitely keep an eye on Ty Chandler going into next season. He could certainly be the RB1 in an action-packed Viking offense that cannot convert QB sneaks on 3rd and inches.
That was embarrassing.
Bro,
I didn't know you
how?
can mess out that play that bad.
Twice in a row, they went backwards on a tush push, bro.
Bad play call on 4th down. Really bad play call. I didn't like that. After what happened on 3rd, I mean, come
Right.
on now.
And like, and why is Brandon Powell the guy doing the pushing? Why is he even on the field, bro? He's smaller than me. He's 5'8". Literally 5'8", smallest guy on the entire roster. You have Hawkinson. You have what's the guy's name? Josh Oliver. Two big, hefty tight ends. Throw them behind this stupid quarterback. Or bring Dobbs in, something. Jesus. Oh my God. I was sitting here. Emily was up this weekend. We're watching the game, decorating my little Christmas tree over there. And
There you go.
I just like after the second failed attempt, I just like jumped onto the couch, put my face in a pillow, and screamed for how do you fuck that up with the season on the line in a almost must win game. And
So
if you pull that off, you win that game. You're basically almost a lock for the playoffs. So all you have to do is win one more game, and then you're in. But now they're gonna have to beat the Lions 1 out of 2 times, which I don't think will be easy, considering we're home dogs this week. Jesus Christ, this is what I get for all the years of shit talking Kirk Cousins. I miss him so much. I'm sorry for everything I ever said about you.
should have been grateful while you had him, dude. Now
No,
you got this.
he'd have won the damn
Welcome to
MVP
quarterback
this
hell.
year, man. He'd have literally won the MVP. I stand by that. His numbers were through the roof. If he's here, we probably have 10 wins.
Season ain't over, Jack. Come on.
All right, moving on. Enough from my misery. Let's take a look at the bracket. A little update here on the winner's side of things. Hudson and I moving on, taking on the juggernauts. Mueller versus Huddy, me versus Tyler. An action-packed, exciting semifinal, awaiting that bid to the Super Bowl for a chance at some real dough.
You and I are going to be crying on each other's shoulders next week in the third, fourth place match.
It's the truth.
I can see it now, but a man can dream.
Yeah.
A manager can hope for the success of his team. Listen, I think anything is possible. Like you said, your wide receivers are looking good.
Yeah.
I mean, if Bijan actually puts up a decent performance, you never know.
Never know.
Tyler, there's no weaknesses on that team, so I can't say much about him. But
No, you just gotta hope like Christian McCaffrey tweaks an ankle in the first quarter, and then his other players also do bad, because that team's scary.
I think there should be legitimate Christian McCaffrey MVP conversations. I know a running back will probably never win that award again, but I mean, Jesus, like that guy is insane.
He is so good, so consistent, and the quarterback race for MVP this year is kind of weak in my opinion. So I feel like the field's open. There should be more of a dialogue around that because God, he is insane.
I agree.
And taking a look in on the losers, Shuby and Murray in the 5-6 bowl, falling apart. Murray's team in a playoff game, backs against the wall, put up 80 points. And Shuby with some identity struggles as of late. He's had about 4 team names in the last 5 weeks. Maybe that was the key. The locker room was unsteady.
Kelsey with a bad performance in Gillette, which made me really happy. Taylor Swift's got all pissed off up in the box.
He was mad.
As a New England Patriots fan, it's just made me miss the good old days when Brady was beating the shit out of Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I digress. Yeah, I think that'll be a good matchup either way. Still 2 good teams, and
Certainly
they'll battle for mediocrity. So there you go.
Which year is the last place game? Is this the last place game or not quite yet?
So last place game will take round 3. The week 17 game will be the decider. But so I think the loser between Perone's team and Bridges' team will move on to the last place game, along with the loser of Scott and Nabil's game. So any of those 4 teams have the potential to get 12th place. And honestly, I could see any one of them getting that coveted shit trophy. So it'll be a whole wild ride in the lower bracket.
Yes, it will. A tough race to be sure. Major implications in terms of potential draft stock next year. You never know what's going to happen. Still eager to find out who will be crowned the biggest loser this season. On to the power rankings. Scott sent his list in the group chat. You can check that out if you like. we agree on some stances, not others. I don't think the Eagles are still outside the top 10. But they lost a bad one last night. It's understandable. Hoping for a Jalen Hurts flu game. It did not go so well. But nevertheless, dogs, not too much movement at the top. Niners 1, Ravens 2, Chiefs sliding up to 3, Ravens up to 4, and the Bills at 8-6. I moved them up to 5. They look scary. The fire's been lit. The offensive coordinator had been changed, and this team manhandled the Dallas Cowboys. This was an insane game.
I will say, in Buffalo, in the rain, you're gonna have an advantage as the Buffalo Bills, but
Absolutely.
I think what we saw was some of the weight being taken off of Josh Allen's shoulders because he might actually, honestly, for the first time in his career, have a significant run game in James Cook. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, I think that gives him the ability to and not have to force everything. Anyway, you're right. Bills are on the outside looking in the playoffs still, but I think that's going to change real quick. Great team. The
Mm.
AFC is crazy right now.
The AFC is absolutely wild. A lot of good teams fighting for those final spots, Bills being one of them. When you look at who they've beaten too, they've won tough games. They beat the Cowboys, they beat the Chiefs. This is a team I would not want to play in the playoffs if I'm one of the AFC division winners. If I'm Miami or whoever the hell's going to get now, the Ravens will have a bye, but Jaguars, a team like that, I think the Bills would be certainly favored and will most likely win such a matchup. Moving on, can't tell tier. I really can't tell with these teams. Are they good? Are they not? The Browns, Joe Flacco looks good. Like this man just came off his couch, said, "You know what? Yeah, I'll play," and he's dotting up teams. He throws such a pretty football, and they already had a great defense. So who knows? This team could do some serious damage. Joe Flacco back in the NFL playoffs. Who'd have thought? Jacksonville, tough loss to Baltimore. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this team. They look really good on paper. They've won some tough games, but they now fall to 8-6. Them, Houston, and Indianapolis all sit at 8-6. The AFC South, which we thought would be a cakewalk for Jacksonville this season, is anybody's division. Anybody's division.
I mean, Texans with a huge win with CJ Stroud out. Casey Keenum did enough to win that game. That's a name. Jack, he was your starter for a little bit, huh? Back in the day.
Viking legend. Minneapolis Miracle took us to the conference championships as a third string quarterback. Case Keenum, you will always have a special place in my heart.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teddy
what a
Bridgewater
name
was our
indeed.
QB. They traded for Sam Bradford when he went down. And then Sam Bradford went down too. Case Keenum just came in and had a Linsanity run, to say the least. It was amazing.
Huge insanity run. But Jack, I was thinking about this today in the car. Tell me one primetime Houston Texans game you've watched this season. Now think about how many primetime New York Jets games you've watched this season.
Too many. However many, too many.
Too many. I mean, the NFL, they took a chance and they lost. They screwed that one up.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't have given the New York Jets every primetime game every week with Zach Wilson playing. And I'm just a little upset that I'm not watching more CJ Stroud in my life. So that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, I think things will definitely change next year. I think the Texans are legit and they will get a lot more attention as they should. And joining them in this tier, can't tell, Cincinnati Bengals beating my Vikings in a tough one. Jake Browning looks like a solid quarterback. He had a pretty good game. He had a good quote at the end saying the Vikings should have never fucking cut him. Well, guess what? The
Hell
Bengals
yeah.
cut you too last year and only brought you back because Joey got hurt. So relax, kid. But
Wow.
not gonna lie,
Huge.
he's talented. He looks pretty good. He's got some good weapons to throw to in Cincy, but this team's 8-6 too, despite losing Joe Burrow. I thought they were cooked, but they got a real shot at the playoffs and a game against the Steelers this week that will have some major playoff implications. Speaking of playoffs, we got the playoffs tier. We got Indy, we got Minnesota, Rams, Seahawks, Broncos, all teams that are on the fringe. Some are in, some are out. But boil down to one word, and that is mediocrity. In the shit tier, Green Bay, falling apart, lost to the Giants and the Buccaneers back-to-back weeks, winnable games, shooting themselves in the foot, really. And if they don't beat the Vikings in 2 weeks, if they lose one more game, they're done. But yeah, shooting themselves in the foot for sure. Alongside Pittsburgh, who will be starting Mason Rudolph this week. We all remember him getting beat the fuck out of by Myles Garrett. I'm sure that's the only thing we know Mason Rudolph for.
That's all anyone knows Mason Rudolph for these days. That's going to be, who are they playing? The Bengals?
Bengals, yep.
Yeah, I might have to put some money on Cincy's side there. I'm gonna be honest. I love Mike Tomlin, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna pull it off this year. And joining them is the Titans, who will likely be without Will Levis this week. Ryan Tannehill may start. Malik Willis may start. We are not sure. But Will Levis, who looks like a good, promising rookie quarterback, I think Tennessee's pretty content with their future in his hands, as well as the Raiders, who scored 63 points Thursday night. An absolute insane game. They were up 49-0 with like 25 minutes to play. They probably could have scored 100 if they wanted to. This game was, oh my God, it was painful.
That was tough to watch. Jack, I think we have 4 teams eliminated from the playoffs now. I think it's the Jets, Patriots, Panthers, Titans.
Yes,
And
that's correct.
I mean, this late in the season, 28 teams left. Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about all these mediocre teams, but they're all still alive for the most part. So I
True.
don't know. It's not over for some of these guys.
It's true. Very reminiscent of our very own league, where only had 4 teams clinched down to the last week. But those 4 teams are still in it.
Goddamn right.
Anywho, on to the someone has to win the NFC South tier. The Falcons leaving this tier, leaving Tampa Bay and New Orleans, both of which could make the playoffs. As sad as that is, we could see 2 playoff teams come out of this division. They're both sitting at 7-7. Bucks have the tiebreaker, but you never know what's going to happen. They could both make the playoffs, which would be an absolute travesty. In the ass tier, no movement really. These teams all suck. And the super ass tier, Cardinals, Pats, Panthers, and the team that lost to the Panthers, the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know how this guy is still head coach of the team. I don't care how bad it was raining. You scored 7 points against the Panthers. They didn't score a touchdown. You still lost. You can't make this stuff up, man.
Jack, you and I correctly predicted Brandon Staley's forced retirement, we'll say. Congrats to us. Arthur Smith might be next. I mean, that's a tough performance to justify against a bad Carolina Panthers team, and not giving the ball to your number 1 option. I mean, that was pretty disappointing to see.
Spend a top 10 draft pick on a running back for him to play less than Tyler Algier it should be punishable by death. But yeah, and that was a must-win game for them too. They win that, they're 7-7. They're still in the divisional race, but there's no way they're not gonna sweep the rest of the season.
Jack, I saw before the Carolina Panthers games, I saw $4 tickets going, and I just think that perfectly sums up those bottom 2 teams for us.
$5 to get into an NFL game,
Bro. I mean, that's crazy.
Come on. A ticket costs less than a beer, probably.
Like, they got to be losing money by giving those tickets away for $4, $5. Like, come on.
God,
what are we doing?
On to the QB list. Not much movement here. Josh Allen back into that 1 spot. Fantasy beast. Lamar 2, Patty 3. Brock Sturdy sliding up a little bit. He's can't complain. He's I think he might be the favorite for MVP at the moment. The kid is good. Can't say anything bad about him. He does his job, plays good football. He's been putting up insane fantasy production as well. Super efficient. So yeah, he stays right there. Dak Prescott sliding down, still in the dogs tier, still having a monster season. Don't want to take it away just from one Dak Prescott-esque game. Yes, he is indeed sliding down. Moving down, I slid CJ Stroud down just a little bit because then we would just have too many guys in the dogs tier. Jared Goff bumps up 5 TDs, dotted up the Broncos defense, who I thought had a pretty okay pass defense, but I guess not. That was a blowout alongside T-Law and Geno. Aside from this, not too much movement. Baker slides up. Stafford slides up. Joe Flacco moving up a little bit. Case Keenum, Drew Lock both enter the serviceable tier. We saw Drew Lock lead a drive against the Eagles to win the game. This kid's electric, dude. He is just fun to watch. He gets so hyped on the sideline. I love his energy.
We thought he was the Denver Broncos' future. That didn't work out. Gets passed around a little bit. He played, I think, the last 2 weeks now,
Yes.
and 2 solid performances. Pretty surprising to see it out of the kid, but good for him and fuck the Eagles. So I'm happy both ways.
Good quarterbacks win games. Great quarterbacks cover. He has covered 2 games in a row. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Keep an eye on them birds. Seahawks, the right birds. Anyways, that's about it here. Not much movement. Nick Mullins, I hate you a little bit. Aiden O'Connell threw 4 touchdowns, but you still suck. Let's be honest. Desmond Shitter, I wish I could throw this guy off the tier list, but they continue to play him. He sucks. He's awful, and I hate him. Kenny Pickett, just pretend that's a picture of whoever's playing quarterback for the Steelers. He is injured, not in the Kirk Cousins tier, but. And Easton Stick sliding in here at the shittier tier after losing by 100 points to the Raiders. We'll say a little fun fact. Easton Stick outscored Patrick Mahomes this week in fantasy football.
He's been a disappointing fantasy quarterback this season
Yeah.
by a pretty good amount,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, based on our expectations for him.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I didn't draft him.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm sure we all thought about it at least a little bit. But yeah, he has been underwhelming in terms of fantasy. So is Travis Kelce. Tough season for the Chiefs.
Jack, locks of the week.
We're
I
back.
made a bet with my father this week. My dad and I watching Monday Night Football. No, Sunday Night Football. And he doesn't think that the Ravens are legit. I think they are. I have $5 on them getting to the AFC Championship. So he doesn't believe it's going to happen, but
Thanks, they're
I
fraud.
do. Lamar Jackson, fantasy quarterback. That's absolutely my guy. I think they look great. Jack gave me Ravens +5 at San Francisco, Christmas Day, night game. It's going to be electric. I don't know if the Ravens will win, but
Yeah.
they're certainly going to cover.
Game of the year, potentially Super Bowl preview. Who knows? These 2 teams are absolute powerhouses. And boy, I hope I'm home from Christmas dinner at Emily's in time to watch this one. Anyways, this week, give me Indianapolis +1.5 in Atlanta. I have no faith in the Falcons. I think they're awful. So they're unsure whether it will be Desmond Shitter or Taylor Heineke this week. Don't think it matters. Both QBs aren't very good. I think Heineke's slightly better, but I think the Colts, they really need to win. They're 8-6. They got their intensity turned up, even without Michael Pittman potentially after he took a brutal shot. I think the Colts will win this game, and 1.5 points. It's a pretty light spread. Give me Indianapolis +1.5.
I think potentially they might be getting Jonathan Taylor back this week.
Yeah, the podcast I listen to every day did say the one lady's like this doctor that analyzes injuries and shit. And she said that he likely will play this week. They expect him to be back, which is tough for you going against Mr. Mueller, but so be
Yeah, I was
it.
going to say.
What's more a challenge? Who cares?
It's a greater story to tell at the end of the season on top. So
Exactly.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Scott had that trade work out for you. Marquise Brown, who didn't even see the field last week, he was wearing a beanie on the sideline, and Zach Moss, who also got hurt. Nice, great trade. Could have had Pacheco, you dumbass.
That made me smile. You're right. Jack, this isn't quote of the week. This isn't a quote at all, but something a little different. Something for the holiday season.
Like that.
Jack, let me take you back down memory lane. December 2017, the Buffalo Bills have not made a playoff game in 17 years, since 1999. They are waiting for a miracle coming out of Cincinnati. Andy Dalton hopefully leading his team to a win against the Baltimore Ravens. Jack, let's see what happens.
Green for sure will be doubled at the bottom of the screen.
4th and 12.
Ravens trying to end it here. 4th down. Dalton steps up. Dalton throws. It's complete. Caught by Boyd. Tyler Boyd. Touchdown. Remarkable. The Cincinnati Bengals have stunned this crowd. It's a great job of finding the single coverage here. Right down the seam goes Boyd. You can see that Kennedy was more concerned with LaFell on the outside. Boyd single covered. Dalton with time to throw. Touchdown Bengals.
Yeah, that's about it. But first of all, AJ Green on the perimeter. Forgot about who remembers that guy, huh? That's a name.
What a play from the 6 and 9 Bengals. Meant absolutely nothing
Meant nothing. However,
for them.
with Andy Dalton getting the Buffalo Bills into the playoffs, Bills fans were very happy with that performance. So a lot of Bills fans ended up donating to Andy Dalton's personal charity, raised over $250,000 for his charity. So a nice little heartwarming gift and story for the holiday season, and taking us back a few years. So thought I'd tell a little Christmas story for quote of the week this week. There you go.
Absolutely love it. Nothing better than that. Nothing better than football. And shout out to Bills Mafia. They've always been such a supportive fan base. Yeah. Also, you see that right there? Minnesota clinched NFC North first round bye, 13-3. How'd we do that? We were at
Yeah, you lost by 30 to the Eagles in the NFC Championship that year.
Sure. That
How
was
about
Case
that?
Keenum, baby. Case Keenum, the theme of today's episode. I love it. What a moment for Buffalo.
Jack, good luck to you, my friends.
You too,
We're
brother.
hoping for all the upsets this week. I think we can do it. I think we can meet in the championship match. We just got to believe hard enough, and let me just take care of everything behind the scenes. So let's go.
I'm holding out hope for the two of us. A couple of underdogs. Who doesn't love an underdog story? Come on, script. Put us in the Super Bowl. I'm hoping. I wish you the best this week.
We're gonna meet again. It's one way or another. It's gonna be third or fourth place match or bust, or well, championship match or bust. So, but Jack, I will see you after week 15. Only got a couple more episodes left, so we're gonna enjoy it while we can. And ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoy.
Happy holidays, everybody. Those that celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I think this is the last episode until then. So enjoy the holiday, enjoy time with your family. Don't forget to love each other. Don't forget to watch some awesome football on Christmas Day.
Peace, guys.